People are spamming lag and chat because MMA said it last game or what the case is, but just to reassure everybody, there's no lag going on with the stream. There's no frames being dropped. If you are seeing any lag, make sure to hit that little wrench below the stream, that little spanner button, and report it. With that being said, spawning here in the top left corner of the map, he's currently down one in the series. It's going to be the player ICIS, but it's actually Acer's MMA.
In the bottom right, as the purple Terran, it's Miso.
And it was MMA's map pick, so Lyrilac Crest is an interesting one. If you get horizontal spawns, I think it could be a little bit funky, because I don't particularly feel like this map is balanced for that. It's definitely a rotational map where the rocks are always on the right side, and the way you can perhaps turtle a base in or not changes. But TVT, the nice thing is there's no real big advantage. You're not walling out you don't have to worry about walling out like a bunch of lings. You don't have to worry about these crazy run-bys early on. Hellions maybe a little bit down the line, but I don't know. How do you? We've seen and we've played a couple of games on this map. What are your just general thoughts on it?
Really played that many games on it?
It's been like I swear to God, anytime we play with Fear Dragon, we've played on this map at least once. Plus some of the ladder matches.
I don't know, this might sound kind of like, I guess, like BM or mean or whatever, but I just feel like I haven't played enough like matches versus someone of like equal skill level. Like, it's been Archon matches. It's been Archon matches occasionally, but like for like 1v1, I haven't played a ton of 1v1, and I haven't really gotten this map a lot. I guess other people would be doing it or something. So looking at it through like all the cast games that we've done on this match, I just I don't know, I still don't like it.
I just don't like the vulnerability of the natural. It's so... we saw with Impact a little bit earlier too, right? It's really difficult to just take this natural and feel secure about it early on. There's too many ways to get into the base early. It's too hard to get those rocks down fast, so you can't just worry about walling off one entrance or anything like that.
Yeah. I personally don't like that too much. I mean, it's surprising that more people aren't complaining about it, but I guess the worry is not that lings will flood in. It's just that like Ravager rushes will occur, or something really imbalanced because it's Legacy of the Void.
Well, that's the thing. It is a Legacy of the Void exclusive map, so when you're like, not many people complain, I'm like, not many people have beta either.
That's true. Maybe we'll see more people complain about the map layout as the game goes on, because obviously, guys, you cannot wall off like you usually do. I mean, you can do a diagonal wall off, and maybe that will work, although we saw, I think, Straylock try that? Oh, that was on Inferno Pools.
No, that was burning. Well, Inferno Pools, but still it was an awkward wall, nonetheless. Yeah. I really hope that as more invites come. I don't think we're going to see any map contests or anything for the beta anytime soon, but still, there are 8 maps right now, which makes it really awkward for doing vetoes in tournaments.
Don't like that at all either.
The reason for this, for those who don't know, is you have to do like A, B, A, B, A. Oh, wait, there's one extra map. You can't, it's not easy to do. So you just kind of have to remove one and say, all right, you know what, do 7 maps because we'll axe Inferno Pools right off the bat or something like that.
Yeah. Well, as cross positions go, I guess it's kind of the coolest of all of the possible spawn positions. You get to go through this really big, wide area in the middle. The Zelnaga basically covers that attack path. If you are able to get into the 3rd location, like siege up at those rocks, they haven't broken them down or whatever, it could be really hard to break. And then if they are able to further push into that, then they can start dropping those tanks on the high ground inside your production lines. That's a lot of what we've seen from TVT on this map. The last like 4 games that we cast of it.
Yeah, neither player really aware of the thirds, but MMA did scan to confirm there's going to be Cyclones. I mean, you could scan and see a tech lab and go, oh, he's going tanks, but it's no. Yeah. It's like the boy guys.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting, though, that no one's gone up to Banshees. I mean, Cyclone openers are very good against Banshees, but I'm not sure 100% that they're, insta-kill. And there's certainly more things against the Banshee openers nowadays. Cyclones plus the ability to get turrets without getting the engineering bay. But they still seem to add something. We've seen other Terrans certainly open with them, but both of these guys always open with Cyclones into factories.
What's kind of interesting, actually, is the way this middle grass is going to work, I guess. I don't know how to describe this better. The high ground it provides. If Miso actually comes across the map with some Cyclones, MMA will get the first lock on. He'll get the first shots, and Miso will lose the Cyclones. It's such a small detail, but if it's even numbers coming in the middle of the map, MMA is going to win that. But Miso doesn't really look like he's gearing out to push. He is just kind of sitting at home. He knocked down his rocks. MMA's not done the same. So he is just kind of playing safe for now.
I mean, these guys continue to be passive. Sensor towers could go down and really secure these bases. They certainly looked like they wanted to go into a macro game last game. Miso just got really good positioning, so I guess that's what we're going to do again here. I mean, it's certainly interesting because we've seen from other Terran versus Terrans, there are still like action-packed in the beginning. These guys just...
It's slow.
They don't want it, I guess. They want to go 3cc, double armory.
That is actually what I find interesting. The double armory is... I would say very expensive. It's one of those things, too, where I don't think it really pays off until you're +2, +3 upgrades. Because, let's be honest, mech just does so much bonus damage, I don't really know a lot of dynamics where +1 armor comes into effect. But as we saw, once he did get on 2-2 and MMA was still on 2-0, the fights became so one-sided. I mean, he also had the number advantage at that point, too. But the idea still is there that the tanks just bring so much more to the party. The Cyclones deal more damage through their special lock-on ability. And if MMA scans up this ramp, he might still be able to take a decent fight. I mean, you can pick off that tank for certain.
Yeah, looks like he's spreading. He's going to go in.
This might be a little bit risky. He actually focus fires a lot of the Cyclones on that one Cyclone. We'll be able to focus fire the tank as well. But the Hellions might have just been able to clench this.
Yeah, a couple of... You know, that auto fire on the Cyclones, the auto target didn't really work out quite so well. Like, that tank didn't go down as fast as it could have. A couple of SCVs were targeted towards the end there.
He's still going for it, though. He might just break him here. He takes out that last tank. But the Cyclone still stands, and 2 Hellions are not going to be enough. Close, though. They both traded out pretty devastatingly. MMA comes up with less army supply, but he's up 20-something workers almost.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. He's going to be fully saturated. Now, on 3 bases, besides that, not much else action going on. I don't think it's, it's not game ending. Miso will certainly get up to the same count soon enough. His armory might start to falter a little bit as MMA's economy kicks in right around now. But he'll always have those double upgrades to fall back on. So as long as he's slow and patient and kind of passive, he'll still be able to do well in the mid-late game.
I think that blue flame upgrade's a pretty big deal too. +1 weapons is nice, but this is like an instant +5 when you're fighting other Hellbats, Hellions. So this is going to bring a lot of extra damage to the party for MMA if Miso doesn't match it. That can be quite difficult to deal with.
Does notice that these are being broken down, has to reposition everything. Hopefully he notices.
These are so far away from the command center, you actually won't notice unless you have a building or a unit positioned over here. So Miso is going to reposition. Siege tanks coming into spots.
He did kind of walled off the other entrance into the base.
First shot goes to MMA. Looks like he's got the advantage on this. Should be able to take out one of those tanks. Vision providing. There's no medevacs for this. Hellions, he managed to run through the mineral lines while this goes on, though. So MMA getting tagged back for some of the damage he did earlier, but that blue flame is just too strong, and Miso's Hellions go down pretty quick.
Yeah, if he killed enough SCVs to make it even again.
I like how MMA's color doesn't look so horrible on the minimap, but Miso's does. I didn't even see those Hellions leave the base, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't either. Anyway.
I really hate this minimap transparency, dude. I'm sorry. I'm straight up just sad about it. Like, I really am. As an observer, it just makes it so much more difficult to see what's going on.
Well, hopefully they'll change it. They got like 8 months to do a lot of things. Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll tune into some of these economic changes that everyone is talking about.
I really hope they don't tweak with it too much. I actually kind of like the way it paces the game currently. I mean, there's some refining to be done, sure. But
have you been reading up on all these articles that have been coming out?
No, I've just been watching games.
I think if you did, I mean, you might have a different opinion. You might have the same one. I think it's not the end-all holy grail of like, oh, it's absolutely correct. But there is some, there is certainly something to be said with their points of how the game might end up playing out. But
are you a Brood War elitist? Are you complaining about the minerals because of that?
I mean, Brood War did a lot of things right. So to say for elitist, it's just. I wouldn't say that I am, but there's certainly some things. I mean, because like one of the biggest issues that could arrive in Legacy of the Void is that you just like it's rushed. It feels like it's an actual like high intensity game because you're constantly rushed to expand. But it's also like, well, where's the strategy? You got to expand, or you're gonna die. So I mean, that's some of their points, but you could read up on that. All like there's like tons and tons of pages, guys. If you really want to go there, it's on Team Liquid.
Well, this is the sort of game and the sort of positioning I would have loved to see some medevacs come out for. Not for these drops, but more for the positioning on the tanks to reposition them for sieging and whatnot. But MMA is doing a very interesting drop. This is all tanks. There's no Hellbats in here. This is a straight up tank drop.
Yeah.
And I guess you know if you siege them behind the mineral lines, you can maneuver some of them later. Just gotta get them all out, but there's too many supply depots blocking this. Actually, so this is a very awkward tank drop.
Yeah, but it is still very powerful. You know, if you try and push in with your own tanks into this, a lot of them will die. In fact, has to lift his Panzer. That's the best way you can do it. You can over concave yourself.
MMA actually just kind of ditches the tanks. I think he could have taken them with him, but you know this did break the siege. So on siege, Helling's gonna try to move in. A little ambitious.
Yeah. A little. Now, Miso was being the passive player, and he was trying to play calm and get those good upgrades, and he does have them, 2-2 over just 2 in a second here for MMA. But is he able to push out? Is he really going to be able to secure this 4th base? MMA's already on his.
Well, he's going for the break, and MMA's actually in a bad position for this. He's got to reposition the siege tanks, picks him up, really nice. Land him quick, though, because you're not running away from those cyclones anytime soon.
Miso is slowly running out of tanks. Keep on picking up and moving back.
But look at this. Every time there's a tank with like 2 health remaining, that's that armor upgrade really coming into effect. And like I said earlier, guys, you're going to see it most around the +2 upgrades, and there we have it. Miso requiring an extra shot here and there, it really builds up quickly as to what you, I guess, owe as far as damage. He's going to continue pushing up northwards towards the planetary. He can certainly knock this down. MMA doesn't have a lot to defend with.
Where I thought those picked up a tank. This was seeing things, but I think if MMA had picked up those tanks, you know, and continuously pulled back, I mean, the siege tanks are slow. Like,
oh, God.
I think he could have done a lot more damage if he saved this planetary.
No, oh my God, not even close. So many siege tanks just blasting away at it.
Well, I'm talking about the last fight that happened. There wouldn't be enough tanks to do that, but now there are, and well, MMA is trying to return the damage just by killing SCVs, and Miso is down to 44, so again, pretty tank
drops pretty sick.
Yeah, look at these, like, tank drops are going to be so good, and people remember that they can do it every single time they have siege tanks.
Yeah, the boost comes up,
they're going to be able to chase, they're going to be able to retreat.
Yeah. Splitting the tanks is actually really smart out of Miso. It'll minimize how many die rather than all of them. But MMA kind of limited on what he can do. He's coming up on that, again, that upgrade deficit is going to be so hard. It's going to be level 3. It's going to be 3-3, or 3 versus 3-3. There you go. Good, that's a mouthful. MMA's also down a base on his opponent. Miso's not exactly destroying MMA and economy just yet, but it's still the fact that something's going to mine out soon, and that's when you're going to see that sort of kickoff. But still maneuvering around the medevacs. Nobody really going for Banshees, which kind of blows my mind. There's no anti-air for either team, like, at all.
Well, I think it's just, you know, Miso, I guess, could never really afford to get his own
tank positioning.
Or Vikings.
Is he going to pull these back? He is going to pick him up, pull him back, head him back. Gotta unload him, gotta drop him, gotta get that damage out. Cyclone! Just, that range is so absurd. I can't function watching that happen.
+3 weapons about to finish for both players here, but Miso a little behind in his armor isn't gonna come into effect for, maybe there'd be a fight before that happens. Oh, there are a lot of tanks up at those medevacs.
Where does he take him? I thought he was just going to go straight to the middle line. I guess maybe he goes for the 3rd base. No, he's going to go behind the middle lines. Making the choke a little bit more difficult to deal with. Takes out that Cyclone so he can safely pick up. Move over here.
God. Miso needs Vikings.
I mean, it's silly to say it like this. This really reminds me of Utilisks in a way. The mobility being the strength, not the actual damage of the unit attacking. I mean, MMA is just not getting caught. It's ridiculous. Knocking out the geysers is actually a pretty big deal. It's really hard to justify putting a new refinery down for like what is 200 gas remaining, but you need that gas as a mech player. Once again, gonna unload over here. Good shots going off. Tank's getting a little bit low, but as long as he's quick on these pickups, it really shouldn't get out of hand. A little bit slow on this one. Oh!
It looks impossible, you know. Miso's trying to get Cyclones to be his anti-air that I guess he doesn't have to get another starport for, or something. But they keep on locking onto the tanks, not the medevacs.
You know, the other thing here too is the fact that MMA's actually managed to kill enough SCVs to get a big lead on his own. His army supply has started to gain some momentum. You know, he was really between the upgrades and the actual army value, he was behind. But he's making this up. He's killing more SCVs. He's taking out the production facilities. I mean, Miso can't ignore this. He will lose his factories. Oh, it's burning. This is going so well for MMA. This is the hype I was looking for, right? These were like, where were these medevac drops? Everything leading up to this moment. Where the Banshees for either player? I don't know, but finally we see something kick in, and this forces Miso's hand. He has to go for an attack because there's no other option. If he sits there, he's just going to slowly bleed out to MMA's tank control. The Cyclones do lock onto the orbital, and if he flies that towards the tanks, he'll keep it alive, but it might just die. But so will these ones. This one's burning. This one's burning. SCVs can't get here to repair. The tanks are going to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, he could have lifted them and moved them and certainly saved them. He does have more orbitals to use. It looks like the base in the middle right died or was lifted, not sure. There's another command center that's bare right here, but he's not going to be able to save the command center.
No, there's just no way to get that repair.
Don't land it.
Oh, man. So I don't know what's going on, by the way, with Twitch, but apparently we just got Nitrous Pelican who subbed for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and 5 months. I don't know what your actual sub count is, man, but thank you for subscribing to the channel. Oh, he's got these 2 things. No. Oh, picks him up. MMA is ridiculous. He is finally going to lose some of the medevacs. I think there's the high health tank that died, too. But you know what? I think this has got him more than enough breathing room. I mean, we're at this point where... Are you serious? Are you for real? We're at this point where he's got 112 army supply. His upgrades are behind. But truth be told, if you've got double the army supply of your opponent, that might not matter so much. His opponent also has almost no income. I mean, Miso really took a heavy hit, but so does MMA struggle through this. He's only just taking these extra bases. Mule's going to get dropped. Tank's in a pretty darn good position. Picks off some of the supply depots. Continues through to the main possibly. Forces a base trade. Miso going to go across the map, but I think MMA's actually got enough home to defend against this in a defensive siege location. Cyclones and Hellbats, Cyclones and Hellions. He's good to go. See him get a flank from the middle? Oh, man. MMA. He took this from being so far behind to just being dominating this. I can't describe it better than that. It came down to 4 medevacs.
Was he really that far behind?
His army, his upgrades were garbage. His army was behind his supply by like 20 or 30.
But his army supply was never like super low. It was like down by like 20, which is recoverable in a good fight.
I don't know. In bio maybe. I don't know so much for mech.
Mech versus mech, yeah, easily. Like splash damage, you run in 1 time, so like 3 tanks explode, and you got that army supply back to pretty even. I mean, he never really felt like he was that far behind. He lost a 4th, yes.